This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I am calling the Air and Water Committee to order at 6:45 p.m. We are operating the meeting under the extended governor's executive order to allow attendance by virtual means. Roll call of attendees: Julia Rourke.
Here.
Jeremy Graham.
Here.
Mike McKinnon. Here. Anybody have a conflict of interest to disclose?
Nope.
Okay, to the best that I could tell, and I just emailed to each of you the minutes from November the 18th of 2019. To the best I can recall, that's the last one of these that we had.
Well, good. Glad.
So I don't know if you got access to those minutes or not, but if you do, I will accept a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve.
They look fine, but I wasn't here, so I will abstain.
Okay, I will second. Questions, comments, corrections, omissions?
Good to me.
Hearing none, roll call vote in approval. Julie?
Yes.
Mike McKinnon, yes. Jeremy Graham?
Abstain.
Okay, the only item on the agenda is we do have a request for Errant water for excess usage from 314 South Benton Street. Personally, I've got about 4 issues with this. First and foremost, the spreadsheet that was filled out with that is not accurate. Talked to Kelly, she did her best job on trying to follow a previous one, but she was not able to make sense out of the numbers. And some part of it is because the numbers that are in there, the $8.40 would basically have been the rates from 2018. So the fact we haven't done that for a while, that's one error. So the current rates really would be $10 per thousand, less the $1 per thousand that we add back in for the chemicals. So whatever adjustment we would make should be based off the rate of $9 per thousand. And it was done off 840. The second issue is on the spreadsheet, they took care of 3 months and then they added in the 125%. But when they did the calculations, they used the 3-month average rather than the average plus 25%. So we would have to adjust those a little bit further. Instead of the numbers that were used of, where it's at here. As far as the base rate where they've got the average of 83.53 on that spreadsheet, they did put 125% of 10,442 gallons. However, when they made the subtraction, they went back and used the 8,353. So those numbers would have to be adjusted off of that. That will come back to it. But the other thing that I want to look at, and I talked to Kelly a little bit, is I would like to go back, and if she only gave us the numbers from like April of 2020 through January of 2021, I would like to go back and see what the usage was in November, December, and January of last winter, because when my kids come home, we go from a family of 2 to a family of 5, and my water rates go up 300% right there. So if we go ahead and validate that their usage is, in line with what we've got here, we can go ahead and look at that. However, if their usage was much higher than that, then we would revise this downward. What I do come up, if we were going to grant an adjustment, is I've got an adjustment for the December bill at $26.44. The January bill at $69.73, which would be a combined $96.17. But I want to validate the 3-month usage at that point in time. And then the only other issue that I have with this is, generally speaking, we want some sort of an evidence of a receipt or an invoice for repair. That's not been provided at this point. Even if the individual did it themselves, when they're down to Sullivan's, they should have at least been able to get a receipt for that, just to make sure that they didn't get their water bill in January and didn't proceed to make this repair till February or something. I guess I would be willing to entertain a goodwill adjustment that if they don't have a receipt at this point, if they can give us a couple photographs of what they fixed that show evidence that something's been repaired recently, I probably would be willing to allow that to suffice for this particular point. So that's my comments of what I looked over. You guys have any other comments on it?
Thanks for explaining those calculations, Mike. I looked at it and I was lost. I mean, we've done like 3 of them in my whole time here to begin with, but I'm like, where's this $8.40? Because I'm looking at, Paul's little sheet.
And I think the way whoever put that spreadsheet together, they went the long way around it because, we don't need to talk about the garbage. We don't need to talk about the monthly flat fee. It's very simply, what was the excess gallons, which at this point in time, we've got a $3.30 water usage charge, and we've got a $6.70 capital charge for a total of 10.
Right.
And then what we discussed many years ago is that we still are incurring chemicals and electricity costs and everything. So, and that number we might want to revise, but we've been taking back $1 of credit off of that. So any adjustment that would be made today would be off of $9.
Okay.
And the numbers in that spreadsheet is because that particular one was based off of rates from 2018. Yeah, my head was spinning. I had to go back and dig myself for that. And so I'll work with Kelly on getting a little bit more simplified approach to that. But I guess what I would like to do is entertain a motion that, provided that we don't have higher usage for the same period last year, and the individual can give us either a receipt or photographs that demonstrate a repair, I would like them to accept the motion for a credit of not to exceed $96.17.
And that's all based on your math that you just went through.
Correct.
I'd make that motion.
Jeremy Graham will second that motion.
Any other questions,
Mike,
comments?
Once they do this, and if February's bill comes in high, too bad, right? I mean,
Well, one time per year is what we consider.
okay. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, those in favor, Julie,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Mike? Yes. So I'm going to call this meeting to adjournment at 6:52 p.m. And if we can get through our board meeting that fast, it'll be a good night.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
So good. I will offer you just some time. I'm going to jump off of this one, and then we can go ahead and we'll get on the public hearing one.
All right.
Sounds great.
Thanks.
Thank you, folks.